In the psychic's chair, the veil between worlds thins, as the smoke deep and let the unseen truths of the immersed, guiding us into the unknown. MostHauntedCastle.com. Paranormal investigations with a difference. Visit our website or ring reception for details 01639 731167.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to episode 12 of In the Psychic's Chair, coming to you today live from Craig y Nos Castle here in the Swansea Valley. On the programme today, we've got Dianne Watkins, who is our guest medium, who will be sharing her journey through mediumship. Jeremy March, of course, will be along once again to talk about the work that we did in the channeling sessions a couple of years ago. And, of course, our medium in residence, Elaine Taylor, will be joining us as we have a little walk around the castle. And that is everything coming to you now on In the Psychic's Chair.
Walls Have Ears, 1843 to 1877, Volume 1. Why not tune in to Showboat Television Online, Roku or Amazon Fire and watch Whisperings of Craig y Nos, produced by John Rolls and based on channeling and books by Lazarus Carpenter. A journey into the paranormal, only on Showboat Television. Book available from Artist and Makers Emporium SA9, 1GL, Amazon, and LazarusCarpenterAuthor.com. Volume 2 coming soon.
Hello and welcome again, Jeremy. It's good to have you back on the programme. Not that you're ever not here, really, isn't it? Bit of a permanent fixture is our Jeremy.
Oh, lovely to be here.
Yeah, it's good to. What should we talk about this week?
Well, I was thinking, we've had with the beautiful weather that we've had lately here. We've had sort of many visitors to the castle and the grounds, and of course, all the grounds, which was Adelina's back garden, of course, were created by her head gardener,
Con Hibbert.
Yes, and he did wonderful things here, and of course they planted all the mature trees that we can see today, and we're enjoying the benefit of what they did here. Nearly 200 years later. But he was a favourite of Adelina.
Yeah, he wasn't he the head gardener at Chatsworth House?
Well, he was certainly a gardener at Chatsworth House, and like many of her staff, Adelina managed to
manipulate him to come and work for her.
Encourage him, shall we say, to come to Craig y Nos, and yes, he did wonderful things. But of course, he was a gardener at Chatsworth House, and that's famed for its landscape gardens.
Constantine, you know me, don't you?
Yes.
Yes,
You were the gardener.
I wasn't just the gardener. I was the head gardener.
Head gardener.
I did everything. The ladyship would tell me what we needed to do, and I would make it happen. I'm English, I'm not a Welshman. Yes, I came here from the South Midlands. She found me when I was a young chap working for somebody else who recommended me, and I came to work for her.
But of course, he lived with his wife and children in the gardener's cottage, which today is the country park, cafe and offices. And Adelina enjoyed frequently visiting the cottage to see the children, and was a good friend to his wife, of course. And yes, I suppose, of course, she didn't have any children herself, did she? No. Whilst being married on 3 occasions, she never had any children.
Of course, by the time she married the Baron, she was 56, wasn't she?
Yes.
And he was 30.
Yeah.
So that didn't bode well for.
That's right. Yes. I suppose she'd, what with her career and everything else, she'd long sort of put aside the possibility of a family of her own.
Pleased with what you're doing. I gusto mucho todos, la música, épica. I'm so proud of telling the stories and those of us that are still here. And for me to come through not singing is so nice. And I'm glad to say that I can't see the Baron anywhere, which is always a pleasure. Yeah, great pleasure. How are you, Mr. Marsh? Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you. And thank you for your help today.
Oh, I don't think I'm giving you any help at all, really. But, you know, I love my home, as you know, and I've always come back here, and I never leave the children, you know. And my dear husband was here with you the other week, wasn't he? Speaking of his love, undying love. And I miss him too. I miss him too. But we still see each other occasionally, of course. But things are not like they were, are they? You know, our energies mingle, which is slightly different from the mingling on the earth, of course. But I was with Rossini a moment ago. He was, as you know, we were buried in Paris in the same yard, same churchyard. And he comes here, you know, occasionally. Has done for many, many years. He loved Craig y Nos.
But you did go over to see the family in the cottage regularly. It was noted by the staff that when she went over there, she always took something, usually food, like the breast of chickens and things like that. And it was noted by the staff that they have breast of chicken, we have the scraps.
Yes, yes,
so they were obviously favourites.
I mean, it's well documented that that Con and his wife Grace were favourites of Adelina, isn't it?
Yeah.
And especially the children as well.
Yeah.
What is very interesting to note is that viewers will remember when Paul Brandon was a guest on the programme.
Yes, Paul, yeah.
And Paul was our genealogist, wasn't he? During
That's correct,
the study.
yes.
And what people don't know, of course, is that Paul used to own the cafe in the country park.
Yes, he did.
Which was Con's old cottage.
Yeah.
And what is very interesting is that whenever there was a ghost hunt here, Adelina was over there because she didn't like it, does she really? And on a couple of occasions, I was over there with Paul in the evening when there was something going on here, and I did channel Adelina over there a couple of times as well. So that was quite an interesting thing. She actually said that she didn't like the energy in the castle when people were hunting, let's say. Quite frankly, I don't blame her. Do you?
No.
I mean, it can't be easy. I mean, what's very interesting, isn't it, is that whereas we see life as everlasting and death is just a doorway to the next dimension sort of thing, a lot of people don't seem to realize that's so true. Which is one of the reasons why good mediums can work as well as they can by communicating with people's loved ones. And it is significant, I think, anyway, that certainly I remember channeling Nicolini and him talking about his love for Adelina.
Oh, I miss her so much. But I see her now and again here when I come. Yes, when I come.
Can you tell us who you are?
My name is Signor Nicolini. Yes. Yes. You know, seeing all these children not being able to breathe reminds me of how I couldn't breathe. My dear wife did everything, to try and help me and save me and save us. But it wasn't to be. Then, Baron Seedstrom, of course. He said that he could help me with my illness. We went to London to visit him and various other places, but he was a fraud. He was a quack. He couldn't do anything to help. I don't know. And then when I was called to heaven, he moved in on my dear wife. Took advantage of her. Took advantage. He makes me very unhappy in my being, if that is what I have now.
Which I remember being very moved when I watched that video when I woke up.
Yeah.
They were very much in love, weren't they?
Yes, that was the, I refer to them as the golden years.
Yes.
While Adelina and Nicolini were here together.
Yes.
And of course, that was up until 1898 when he passed away, unfortunately. And then, of course, we had the next period, which was with the Baron, Baron Seedstrom.
I mean, it's also interesting, isn't it, that Adelina was so keen on trying to get healing for Nicolini, which is the main reason she moved here in the first place, wasn't it? Because of the fresh
One of the
air.
reasons she came here was because of the fresh air, yes.
Yeah, right.
For her voice.
And I mean, you mentioned Con earlier on and all the trees that he planted. Well, we lost 200 of those in Storm Darrow the year before last, which is very sad. In fact, in parts, the park still bears the scars of that storm. I wouldn't have thought he saw that one coming. Do you feel that that Con and Grace, having had such a special place in Adelina's heart, that they were treated differently from everybody else?
I think they probably had privileges.
Yeah.
Can I put it that way? Privileges,
Yeah.
and also the children. That so it's. I won't say it was Adelina's family, but it was
like a surrogate family.
Yes,
very much so. Yeah. Jeremy, it's been a pleasure once again, and I hope that the little inserts that we dropped in will go to fill out the story just a little bit. So we'll chat again next week, no doubt, about something else. So Jeremy Marsh, thank you.
MostHauntedCastle.com. Paranormal investigations with a difference. Visit our website or ring reception for details. 01639 731167.
Thoughts on suffering. All of us say, we do not want to suffer, and yet each and every day, we cause more suffering to ourselves, and support those who perpetuate suffering for others. We say, we do not want to suffer. What do we mean by suffering? It is created, defined and experienced by so many souls on our planet, and controlled and manipulated by so few. A must for every bookshelf. This thought-provoking little book inspired by Padre Pio is written by Lazarus Carpenter and illustrated by Jill Brooks. Available from LazarusCarpenterAuthor.com.
Well, this is our guest medium spot, and it is with great pleasure that I introduce Dianne Watkins. Dianne,
thank you very much for asking me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
I mean, you're a bit like me, Dianne. You've been around for a while.
Oh, yes, I have.
In the nicest possible way.
Yes, I have.
I mean, you've got tremendous experience. When did it start for you?
I would say it was after I lost my dad. And that's 23, 24 years ago. And I never believed in anything. So I had my children working, there and everywhere. So it was prior to that, my husband lost his dad. And I had a phone call, and I can remember rushing home. And my husband said, "It's got to be better than this, where he is." I thought, what is he on about? So I never went to church. I never did anything. So when I lost my dad, and my mum came and stayed with me, every Sunday we'd go to different churches within the Caerphilly area. And I think, oh, what am I doing here? So I used to manage a charity shop in Caerphilly. And my mum would come in and help me. And a lady came in one day and she said, bring your mum to the spiritual church, Charlie Church. And I thought, right, okay. And she knew people there, so my mum loved it. And one gentleman just changed how I thought and my life, really. And he was working, he had a bit of a sense of humour, and I thought, I really like this gentleman. And he came to me, and he went, Bev. And I went, oh, that's my husband's name. And he went, that's a very strange name for a man. And then the things he told me blew me away. And that was the start of my journey to that gentleman. And it used to be Charlie Church, and Charlie's passed now. And he came up to me and he said, come to my open circle. I think you will fit in lovely. And I sat in that open circle. It was a crowd of us for 10 years. And he would, if a medium didn't turn up, he would say, right down, it's your turn. And that's how I started. And then another lady was working, who just started her circle, said to Charlie, can I take her out with me? And he said yes. And that was the start of my journey. And it completely changed.
I mean, you've got a very good reputation.
Oh, thank you.
No, which you have.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, and part of your reputation is you're very accurate in when you go to people with your... How... I mean, you sat in circle for a long time.
A long time.
And you had tuition and guidance from Charlie.
Yeah.
Which gave you then the skills, if you like, and the confidence to go out and do things.
It takes a lot, doesn't it? I always say, to stand there in front of people, you have no scripts, you have nothing, and you rely totally on spirit.
Our script is spirit.
It is. That's right. Totally. So my husband, love him, because I'm out a lot, as we do. And he always says, "You're working tonight?" And I say, "No, not tonight." He will find you somewhere then. That is our bit of a joke. So he has been brilliant throughout. And he totally understands what I do, and he loves what I do. And the same goes for my children and my grandchildren. So I'm very open with what I do. But to me, evidence is the priority of us all as mediums. Sharing specifics. I always say it has to be specific, not grandmother, not anything. You know, I am spot on with it. I also run 2 circles. So I run an open circle and I run a closed circle. So my closed circle workers, I start taking them out with me. And I always say, we need young people out there. You know, I'm getting older now. And then there'll come a time where I don't want to be travelling up to Swansea or whatever. So it's concentrating on the younger people, the younger ones there. And tomorrow I'm taking out one of the girls, and then Wednesday I'll be taking out somebody else. So that is my thing at the moment. And that's where I really want to concentrate on.
That's really important. I mean, one of the themes that keeps coming up over and over in the programme is training.
Yes.
And the best way to do it, and whether people have it or not. And it's our experience, I think, that we encounter many mediums who haven't had any training
That's
at
right.
all. I mean, we do know, don't we? I mean, there are mediums who are natural mediums who
Yes,
don't need any training.
very much
because
so. Yes.
It's all there already.
Yes. Yeah.
But there are equally many who do need training, and there are many who need it that don't have it and should have it and deny it.
That's right.
Say, well, we don't need that. That's not for us. And yet the evidence is when we go and sit and listen to these people work, isn't it?
Of course.
Because what we don't get is evidence.
And that's why I very rarely go to churches to watch mediums. Very, very rarely. Because I get quite, not agitated, but I'm thinking, hang on, what are they doing? Because you're dealing with people's emotions, and that's why they're sitting in church. So I am very specific with the girls and the gentlemen in my circle that they have, we do different things, obviously meditation, card readings, flower readings, as we do, but it's also how you present yourself to the person that you're working with. And you have to think of what you say and then how you say it, because it's emotional, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things, I mean, I'm a bit like yourself. I get very frustrated when I watch mediums work. Not all of them, obviously.
No, of course, there's some really good ones out there.
There's some excellent mediums out there. But there are some that, it's like watching paint dry. You know, their delivery for a start is boring. You know, it does seem to me that in addition to, you know, knowing what you're doing, there's also knowing how to present what you're doing.
Exactly.
And you've already made the connection with the person whom they're communicating with. But in a church, there might be 50, 60 people there, all listening to the same information.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that I find particularly tedious is when the presentation skills of whoever it is on the podium, no matter how good they are, if their presentation skills fall flat, so does their performance.
Yes. And you can see the people in the congregation, can't you, getting like looking at their watches.
Yeah.
You know, because,
are we there yet?
Yes. And I have a thing about time. So if you've got like 50 people within the congregation on a special, you can't stay with that person too long.
No, that's right.
So that's another thing I say to the ones in my circle. You know, you give the evidence, but then you have to move on.
That's right.
So I'm quite specific on that.
I think that's really excellent advice for people, because I think that a lot do. I mean, I saw a chap last night who stayed with somebody far longer than he needed to, and it was pretty clear that even if he was getting any hits, he wasn't getting any more. He was fishing, as I refer to it. And I maybe it's my age, I don't know, but I get quite, not cross, but frustrated.
Well, I think it is outrageous then, because I'm exactly the same.
Right.
But yes. But,
I mean, it does seem to me to be a sad state of affairs, because at the end of the day, it's our experience, isn't it, that people go to churches or to see mediums to hear from their loved ones.
That's right.
Not to know whether or not they're going to win the lottery next week, or whether the illness that they've got is going to get any better or anything like that. I mean, these are all sorts of issues which I think red herrings, big red herrings, and they enable quite often some mediums to go off on a tangent, and the fishing expedition begins, you know, and everyone else is sat around going, what's this all about? What's this got to do with?
Yes, that's right, exactly. And what are we doing here? So, and it's also, I always say, and people say to me after, in the congregation when it's all finished, they'll say that message you gave her, we knew, because I work a lot in the Rhondda Valley, and everybody knows each other, and you know, and as you're giving them the message, they all go, you know, because they know each other. So even if they don't get that message, they can take what that person is having, and it's making them feel better, knowing that spirit and their loved ones are around anyway.
And I mean, it's vital, isn't it? Because the whole reason for our existence is the proof of life everlasting.
That's what it's about.
And we don't see that as often as we should.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it from mediums such as yourself. We see it from mediums like Elaine and Moira Dwyer and people like that, who are red hot.
Oh, wow,
you know,
yeah.
really
right,
red hot mediums. And there's a lot of young ones coming up as well. Gethin Myers comes to mind.
Yes.
Joshua Alley comes to mind.
Yes, I know the two of them.
You know,
they are brilliant.
we've had them both on
Yes,
the program, and we're blown away by both of them, particularly on their little trek around the castle later on with Elaine. And I think that what's important, that seems to me to be something that's really important here, and that is those who are mediums who are doing it for the right reasons, which is what we're talking about, and those who are doing it for pound notes.
Oh, yes.
And that's where it falls flat for me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, of course, people have to make a living. Of course they do. But like every other profession, there should be some kind of check system,
yes,
if you like,
of course,
to know that what it is what you are really paying for. And I think this is where, because it's not an exact science, is it? And people are gullible.
Of course. And people are desperate sometimes.
That's the other issue.
That's right.
And that desperateness can quite often manifest itself in accepting something that isn't for them anyway, but it's just that they want to hear something.
That's right.
Because they want that comfort. It's our job to make sure that they get exactly what they want, isn't it? From exactly who they want to hear from, if that's a problem. And I think that quite often people get disappointed because they don't get that, do they?
That's right.
I mean,
and we want our churches to be full.
Yes.
You know, we want people to come in, don't we? And sit there and enjoy the service, even if they don't get a message. It's sitting there with people that they know and feeling safe and knowing that spirit is around. And that's what it's all about.
When I've seen you work in the past, and Moya and Elaine and others, you are being very, very clear. There's no room for debate. You know, it's very clear whom it is that you're talking to, whom it is you are talking about, and the message that you're giving is very clear, and the person sits and they go, wow, how did you know that?
Yeah.
Well, you knew that because it's your job to know it, and it's your job to be a vessel to be able to give that information.
That's right.
How do you see mediumship developing in the future? Do you see anything?
Again, this is my thing. I feel there's a lot of, I know quite a few older mediums like myself, and they are brilliant, absolutely. Some of them are having to step back. It comes a time, doesn't it? So I get frustrated like yourself. I see all the things going on Facebook, and it's horrendous. I just cringe. But again, they're good mediums, so they don't need to be doing that. Social media, isn't it? That's the sign of the times. So how I see it, I would like, and this has gone back when I first started, and I was in Barry S&U church, and there was somebody sitting there assessing me, because that person, the lady, came up to me and said, spot on, and I'd like your presentation. We need that now. We need somebody to go around, or a group of established mediums to go around assessing other mediums.
It's very refreshing to hear you say that, because we've had this discussion.
Right.
We actually think that one of the things that In the Psychic's Chair could do is to promote good quality training.
Yeah.
And because you see, there was a time, wasn't there, when the SNU did all of that.
Oh, brilliant.
And had a wonderful reputation for it and everything, but that's gone.
Yeah.
It's
People
just
are saying
not,
that. Yeah.
not a body that is respected by really that many people nowadays, because of all the infighting and the egotistical stuff that goes on. And there's no room for that in this job at all, is there?
No, not at all. But you get that in a lot of the churches, don't you? The fallouts and whatever.
We get it in every profession.
Of course
we get it in every profession. But we do need some kind of controls that are saying, you know, well, what you're doing isn't what you should be doing. You know, you need to be considering this. And then the problem is
that people get very precious about who they are, and they don't take criticism lightly.
No, that's right.
And that's when the infighting starts, the ego games begin, and everything else. I find all that a complete and utter waste of our time.
Yeah, I agree.
And also it's a waste of spirit's time too. Because whilst all these games are being played on the earth plane, they're not getting what they need to get across.
Yeah.
And so we're failing, not us personally, but people are failing their responsibilities.
Yeah, I totally agree. We have to have a body that will assess mediums, because what's happening, and I've come across that before, that they come into circle and they'll stay for a couple of months and they go, I'm off. No, really no.
Quite.
Really no. You need to sit. Even, I do this 2 circles and it does me good, because I'm still there and I'm still, meditating, and I'm still feeling the energy with them. So that is huge, to be able to sit with a group of like-minded people, and they've become friends. I mean, my groups are beautiful groups, but it has happened to me before when they've said, I'm off, I'm off to churches.
It's because they think they are now ready.
And then they don't last long.
No.
They've gone.
They burn out very quickly,
they
don't
do.
they?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember helping somebody with their development circle, running some sessions on connecting, on proper connecting, and evaluating it and everything else. And this young lady saying to me that, she didn't need any of that. She knew what everything was. She was natural and this and everything. And my colleague had working that night in the church, and she was terrible, absolutely dreadful. She was making it all up as she went along. She was reading body language, and she was fishing, and then thinking, because she might have got a hook, tenuous though it may be, that was her being a good medium. And I said to her afterwards, I said, with the greatest of respect, I said, you did not pick anything up from spirit this evening. Because if you had, I would have seen it. And I didn't see anything at all. And there was no energy, there was no interchange. You could see it was all coming out. I mean, there was nothing coming in. It was all coming out, which is so...
I always say people can read people anyway.
Yeah.
We all can do that, can't we?
Of course we can.
So they've got to bypass that. But it's also the wording. And, when somebody says, I think, you've got to know. Don't use the word think. And what's the other one? I can't remember the other one.
Could it
can
be?
it be? Could it be? Could it be? It might be an an, or
no.
It's just I think, oh no, please don't. So,
I mean, it either is or it isn't.
That's right.
And if it is, and they agree, you're right, you've got a hit. And if it isn't, you're wrong. End of story, isn't it?
Exactly.
It is as black and white as that.
Yeah.
And what we're not seeing a lot of is that black and white evidence that people really need.
And sit there and be blown away. And that's, I was telling you earlier, it was, can I mention his name that blew me away? Gethin. And it was after I lost my mum. And I've never, ever had a message like that. And I went home and I was on cloud 9. And I'm a medium. And I thought, do you know what? That has changed again. I was like, oh my goodness. So there are very good mediums out there, as you say.
I mean, he's a young lad, really, 26?
He's young. He's like Josh, very young.
26,
that's right. And that's what we need.
I mean, the thing is, with Gethin, Gethin shared his story with us. And I mean, he didn't come to mediumship easily.
That's right.
He came through suffering, through his own suffering, and came out the other end of it.
That's right.
With the wonderful young man that he now is, and a real ambassador for spirit.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as I say, there's a lot of good young people out there now, but we need more.
And also the ones that are out there now are the ones that we should be, championing as well.
Exactly.
I mean, I sometimes think to myself, oh, I'm a bit past it now. I maybe I should jack it in and this and the other. and then I wake up the next morning and
No.
not
No.
yet,
No.
not yet.
No.
I personally can't see death is the only thing that will stop when I pass. And even then, I'll probably do something on the other side. But
Right.
what? So obviously, you'll carry on with running your circles and helping.
Yes.
Do you see yourself being able to perhaps broaden your skills with teaching, for example?
I want to carry something forward.
Mm-hmm.
I won't leave my churches because I still love going to all. And I always say when I go into a church, it's the energy. You can pick up the energy straight away.
As soon as you walk in.
Unbelievable. So I never want to lose that. I want to go forward. And as I say, my circles take up quite a bit of my time anyway. So my thing at the moment is just getting them out there and concentrating. As I said, this week I'll be taking 2 out just to get them out there. So I want to go forward, but I'm not quite sure which route.
Can I ask you something which I find strange? Do you call your students fledglings?
Yes,
You do?
I know.
Can you tell me?
They don't like it.
No, you don't like it either.
I don't like it, but they don't like it either.
No,
They put it advertising Dianne Watkins and fledglings. And I think, and they go, we don't want to be a fledgling.
It's terrible.
I know,
it's
but everybody uses it. I know.
Students is
much nicer,
appropriate.
isn't it? We'll have to change it then.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that together.
Well, there you go, folks. Now, from now on, of course, fledglings is no longer used. They are now students, which they are.
Totally agree. Yes, they are. Yeah.
So you're going to do that?
Yeah, I'll start it.
Well, we'll all start that.
Yeah.
I think that, when I'm talking to somebody like yourself with the wealth of experience and the reputation that you've got as well, I feel humble to be in your presence because of all the work that you've done. What do you, I mean, if indeed we are to further the idea of education, how do you see that going?
Well, with
mediums.
Mediums.
Yeah.
People like yourself, that have got experience. This is what we need to use, and that they need to listen to what we're saying. If they want to walk out and leave the circle and get on with it, then so be it. But it's advice, isn't it? And you can ask all my girls and the gentlemen that are in my circle. I'm very straight, and I expect respect. So it's all about respect, and also respect for the congregation and for the people if they are reading cards, if they go down that road. It's all about respect. But picking up the spiritual churches, because a lot of them
they're failing.
They're failing. So it's trying to get them all.
Do you think? I mean, it's interesting this because on the one hand, a lot of churches seem to be failing, and yet on the other hand, there's this massive upsurge in mediumship globally. Because, and I mean, is that because there are more people want to know more, or is it because people are jumping on the bandwagon? I think it's a combination of all of those things. But as to the future, it does seem that it should be regulated.
That is what I've been saying for a long time.
We do need regulation. And the problem then, of course, is, well, who become the regulators, and that's when all the egos start jumping around. I mean, for example, the NSU see me as evil because I'm a deep trance channel. So,
really?
I am a naughty boy. I shouldn't be giving myself over to spirit like that.
I do trance.
Do you think it's evil? I don't. No, not at all. I mean, I was very fortunate because Edgar Casey taught me to channel by me channeling him. And that was back in the early 90s.
Wow.
Which I didn't even know who he was. And then suddenly this face appeared in the mirror in meditation one night and said, I'm going to teach you how to trance channel. I said, oh, and who are you? He said, my name's Edgar Casey. And I said, well, I've never heard of you. He said, well, you will. Interesting enough, later on, one of my very first friends on Facebook was his great-great-grandniece as well. So it just, a lot of wheels within wheels going on there. But I mean, that for me was, obviously I know who he is now. I didn't know who he was then. And it was a great privilege to have a master of trance actually teaching me, and I didn't even ask for it, you know. Maybe I did at some other time, I don't know.
But then
you know?
I always think they know who.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you know, just by sitting in the energy, you think, oh, right, you know.
I think that, I mean, I remember meeting an Italian astrologer a couple of years, 2 or 3 years after it all started. And they did my birth chart and everything. They said that there was a lot of cross-fertilization between Edgar's chart and my own. Maybe that was the reason why. I don't know. I mean, I still channel him occasionally now and again. He comes out in workshops.
Really? Well, amazing.
He's been known to pop into workshops occasionally and give his 2 pence, you know. But I have 3 or 4 guides that I work with, especially on teaching. And I find, personally speaking, that for people like ourselves, the work is what it's all about. You know, it's what gets me up in the morning.
I love it.
What floats me boat. Really does.
I wouldn't know what to do without what we do.
No,
it's like.
Do you see yourself writing anything at all?
I'd like to.
What's stopping you?
I don't know, nothing. I think it's time.
Right.
It's the time aspect, you know, it's family and life as well.
Nowadays,
isn't it?
you see, we've got all these fancy bits of technology that we can
I
use.
know. That is another thing. You know, when I asked for a lot of it, so in my circle, it open up in prayer. I get one of them to open in prayer, one of them does the reading, and another one does the closing prayer. So they obviously write it out or whatever, and I go, "That's not from you." You know, and I go, where's that from? I Googled it and looked it up, AI or whatever they call it. I'm not into the technology. I said, you can't do that. Or if you're doing a prayer or opening prayer or closing prayer, it's got to come from within. So that's not nice. So they're doing it. It's so easy though, isn't it?
I mean, the with AI, I think that you see, because AI is only repeating what it's learned from us anyway.
That's right.
But I'm thinking more in terms of the issue about you writing, for example. I mean, I just invested in one of these pocket things, you know. And we had Angela Aurora Medway-Smith on the program last week, and she has written lots of things. And she mentioned a bit of technology to us that I'd never heard of before, which records everything you do. And then with another bit of tech, it can change all that into a workshop in a matter of seconds.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, 130 quid. Best 130 quid I've ever spent. I got one.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I got one the following day. Because I write a lot.
I know,
To me, one of the hardest things about writing is if I'm just sitting there and dictating, the flow's there.
Yeah.
You know, but there is a gap sometimes between the head and the pen, even though
so it's done.
For
you. Amazing.
And so it does work. So maybe that's a way
forward. I've got to start living in the future. You know, with all this technology going on.
I mean, a lot of the tech that we do have around actually helps us. It doesn't hinder us.
Of course it does. Yeah.
But I think getting back to the point and not losing the point that you made about students using AI to get things like opening prayers and stuff like that.
No.
It's all a bit too.
Just got to come from within.
It's got to come from your heart, doesn't it?
Of course it does. That's my way of looking at it. And they go, yeah, right then, Dianne.
Dianne, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And I feel very privileged.
9 ghost stories to fuel paranormal paranoia for insomniacs. A man unable to say no. A headless horse seeks revenge. An ancient castle lost in time. A medium guided by a haunted pen. The whispering windmill. An abandoned railway station. A girl and a raven. A secret passageway. And the very strange Absent Ball. Illustrated by Jill Brooks and written by Lazarus Carpenter. Available from Amazon, Lulu, Artist and Makers Emporium.uk and LazarusCarpenterAuthor.com.
Well, hello everyone. Well, here we are in the cellars underneath Craig y Nos Castle.
This is noted by the ghost hunters, if you like, to be very active. But of course, we come down here and we find different aspects of the spirit world in different places. The salt cellar to my left here is normally very active for paranormal investigations, and we think that is because it's very close or adjacent to the what we call the slab room, where Adelina Patti was laid to rest in her coffin. So let's, without further ado, perhaps we should have a walk into the salt cellar and see if there is any activity there.
So, welcome to the salt cellar, where Elaine and Dianne and I are sitting with the energies of about 180 years altogether, I think. It would be appropriate to say. There was somebody muttering in my left ear, but I can't quite hear what they're saying. In fact, several voices muttering in the left ear all at the same time. So I need some clarity one at a time. I just got a name, Ronald or Roland. Which it is. And it's just shown me a horse's bridle. Which makes me think says I don't have to think it, tell me. Okay, so tell me. The groom, one of Adelina's grooms. And the name is Roland. Or Rowley to his friends. We can research that one, Mr. Marsh. How are you feeling, ladies?
I feel quite unsteady. I'm feeling quite vulnerable in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel as if there's a lady telling me to sit up straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got tears. I want to cry. Not through sadness or even fear, but I just feel totally on my own. Even though we are here, I am on my own. I also feel I got palpitations, and I just generally feel really unwell, and I've still got to sit up straight. So
You're a child.
yes, and very vulnerable. And initially, I had, when I first came in, I had a lady that told me to sit down, and I feel that she carried quite a bit of weight. And tapping my back, I sit down. And that's what I've had.
Have you got a name?
No name. No name.
How old do you think you are?
Initially, the lady, I would say, would be in her 50s, 40s, 50s.
And you as the person?
And there's not a child, but more 12, 14.
Adolescent.
Yes, adolescent, yes.
It makes me think that you have been spoken to by the matron or one of the nurses.
but really quite,
Stern.
yes, and still feel quite on edge.
Almost like when they walk into the room, everybody sits up
Sit
straight.
up straight,
Yeah.
and that's, yeah.
Sounds very much like the hospital days, Mr. Marsh. Yeah.
Well, interestingly, I've got 2 children. I've got a Peter and a Charles, and they were pulling my trouser leg.
Charles.
And I feel very unwell. I've got a heaviness on my chest, and I feel a bit sick and heady, and heart palpitations.
Must be one of the children.
So finding it difficult to breathe. Like always down here, because it's quite heavy energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I feel like one of them, I think it would be Charlie, would have had a bad head. Hurt his head, or would have had some kind of bad head, because my head hurts all down here.
That's amazing.
This bridle's been waved in front of me again. Trying to get my attention. You have my attention, Rob. Okay. Modern technology leaps in there.
I also feel I want to hold baby. And I'm tapping the baby, and I feel quite emotional doing it. And I don't want to let go of the baby. I've got to do that.
So are you feel as if you're like winding the baby?
I feel the baby isn't.
It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah. Can't. I want to keep holding the baby.
And do you know who you are?
Sorry?
Do you know who you are?
No. I've got to give the name Helen. Helen.
It's interesting because there were rumours of a number of children being born to staff.
Right.
Historically, especially during Adelina's time. And we know from previous sessions that, and the Baron admitted to us when I was in trance that he had been responsible for one of the maids becoming pregnant. And she was it 10 guineas, Jeremy?
That figure sounds familiar. Yes, I believe it was.
She was given 10 guineas, which was a considerable sum, really, in the 1890s, to vacate and never return.
I've also got a gentleman, quite a stern gentleman, I have to say. Doesn't feel like it feels like he would have been one of the staff. Quite a slim chap. He's not that well built. Quite a slim chap. And quite stern. Like, I just to know why we're here. Kind of feel to it. And Angus. Name Angus.
Not familiar.
I wonder whether he could have been one of Frederico's assistants in the kitchen.
Possibly, yeah.
It comes to me that is he very thin?
Yeah.
Okay. And pointing a lot.
Well, he's just got his hands on his hips quite.
Yeah.
Well,
Dishing out the orders. Sounds like one of Frederico's assistants, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. She got in different levels.
Yeah, Frederica was the chef when it was a hospital here. And somebody who's come in for a lot of bad press, hasn't he? Unwarranted. So.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I got it all on the neck as well. And I'm just very aware of the children around, particularly as you look in the back. You see little shadow people.
But I'm drawn to there as well.
There's a boy standing in the corner there. It's very difficult, isn't it, sometimes to know what's spirit and what's pareidolia. For those that don't know, pareidolia is the things that we think that we see, which are actually shapes or shadows or whatever indoors, and on walls and everything else. We have had some evidence of pareidolia, haven't we, when we thought it was spirit when it wasn't.
Can you see that gentleman at the back?
To the left of Jeremy's head.
Well, he's kind of central to me. But yeah. Can you see him? Quite a robusty fella with a beard, I think. Feel?
Big chap.
Yeah.
I think that's Frederica.
The cook.
Yeah, chef. Doesn't like being called a cook. There we are. That brings to close another In the Psychic's Chair here from Craig y Nos Castle. So, only remains for me to thank our guest, Dianne. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you.
Jeremy, of course, our mine of information and knowledge related to the history of the castle, and of course, our medium in residence, Elaine Taylor. So from me, Lazarus Carpenter, and all of us here in the Psychic's Chair, thank you for watching.
MostHauntedCastle.com. Paranormal investigations with a difference. Visit our website or ring reception for details. 01639 731167. In the Psychic's Chair, the veil between worlds thins, as the smoke deep and let the unseen truths of the immersed, guiding us into the unknown.